Hey guys, happy Christmas Eve, Holly Eve to all my pagans out there. What up? I hope you are having a lovely Sunday. Let me know what you guys have cooked up today, whether you are celebrating a holiday or not today. Let me know. And hey, if you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me, that information is down below. You could check out kittensweightsandtarot.com as well as a witchy shop that James and I own, Desert Cauldron. You can check out James's crystal shop if you're looking for some last minute Christmas goodies or holiday goodies, maybe some Christies. The link for his shop is also down below. All right, so it looks like we got our homies in here. Hello, everybody. We have Karen is in here. Susie's in here. Hello, hello. All right, I'm gonna move this upwards just a little bit so you guys can get some more of that holly tree back there, that Yule tree. All right, so it's been a hot minute since I talked to you guys last week, and a lot of you guys celebrated the solstice. You celebrated Yule, so let me know what you guys did, or if anything, for the winter solstice, or on over to our friends down under, the summer solstice, basically. So their days are getting shorter, whereas our days are getting longer. And today is Holly Eve for many pagans. For many Christians, this would be considered Christmas Eve. So it's just before, in Christianity, the birth of Christ is coming, the King, the Savior. Whereas in pagan tradition, it's kind of tied in with the solstice, where we had somebody called the Holly King, kind of representative of winter, kind of the male version of the crone, and being taken over by the Oak King, which is representative of the sun, S-U-N, as opposed to Christianity's S-O-N. And so it's kind of seen in two ways, where there is the defeat of the Oak King over the Holly King, basically light over darkness. And then we go into Holly Eve, where it's also a giving of birth to the sun, S-U-N. So the goddess, which is also considered Gaia, so from her womb springs forth the sun, the longer days, fruitfulness. And so in many traditions, or pagan traditions, the Oak King has his wife, the goddess, but the goddess is also his mom. So it's kind of like, we're all one kind of thing. So let's see. All right, we got some homies all up in here. Susie said Desert Cauldron. Karen says, oh, did not know James has a crystal shop. He has I could say he has a fabulous crystal shop, because I'm the one that gets to play in all the crystals before they get sent off to their new crystal homes. Basically, that whole cabin that we have, the whole one side of it is for Kittens, Weights, and Tarot and Desert Cauldron. The other side is just ceiling to floor crystals, every crystal that you could imagine. And they are all handpicked by James. So he doesn't just like grab a bunch of amethyst or like grab a bunch of, tanzanite or something. It's like, no, this one is going to be special for somebody. So they just lay in waiting for that special to someone to come by. Let's see. Let's go back here. Lisa, hey, this is your beautiful Christmas greeting arrived today. Lisa, oh my gosh. I was so worried, Chica, because I put it in at the post office, and it's like they never scanned it. So the tracking says that it's still sitting at the post office, that it never made it to you. And I was like, oh no. I was like, Lisa knows that I wanted to send her something, and then if nothing arrives, well, that's just a bad trick. I was like, so I'm so glad that it arrived. Yeah, I sent some goodies to my sisters out there. Everybody got a little tea, but the tea was created based on everybody's energy, each person's unique energy. So I had to meditate on each of you guys. Oh, what was that? Oh, probably just another icicle. Oh my gosh. Hold on. You guys want to see this? This fell off the chair right now. Whoa, whoops. It's real slippery. It's real icy out here, you guys. um, but yeah, so I just figured it was Mercury. It's Mercury retrograde. You're just gonna like say a prayer, pray, please goddess, let those gifts get to everybody on time. But yeah, maybe that's a little gift that some of you guys might want to do for others, is just meditate on your friend's energy or your family's energy, and see, like, if you're into herbs like I am, what herbs would be appropriate for them for 2024. And that's what I did. I had to talk to everybody's higher self, and that was a lot of fun. So I think I'm gonna make more teas like that in the future. Maybe just like some teas that just kind of pop up, whether they're in the shop or I just send them to friends and family. So Lisa said, yeah, there was no international stamps on it, but it still arrived. And on my birthday, that's synchronicity. All right. We have lots of birthdays to celebrate. That's right. Our friend Peter as well. Oh my goodness. We're going to have to sing a little happy birthday. And our friend Patrick is here. Hello, love. How are you? People say happy holidays. Susie says, James and Tara have an amazing energy. Oh, thank you. Oh, sorry, I thought it was Peter's birthday, but I'm sure it's a lot of people's birthdays right now. So let's just sing happy birthday anyway. Technically, December 10th would be my half birthday. We're halfway to June 10th, oh my goodness. Susie says, I got put out in a 24-hour timeout for over emojiing, so I must be careful. Can you believe it, by YouTube? Wait, what? YouTube put you in timeout for over emojiing? Isn't that how, like, a lot of people communicate these days, is through emojis? Speaking of emojis, James has me translate emojis for him. There's this guy on Instagram called Steve Earthkeeper, and he's also a crystal guy. And so, they text back and forth, but Steve doesn't use words. He uses emojis when he speaks. James does not speak emoji. However, I do. Having hung around high schoolers for, over a decade. So I'll come over and I'll be like, because he says, what's crying happy face son? I was like, oh, that he thought that it was really good. He's like, okay. Oh my goodness. That is cray cray. Susie's gonna give Lisa a call later for her birthday. Susie says, I know they thought I was a bot. That's crazy. But she also speaks emoji. I love it. All right, you guys. Well, today, I figured, I know there's some people that are off doing, some holiday stuff right now. So I wasn't quite sure who would be in the chat today. But I figured for those of you that are in the chat, let's just have a really chill chat. Not that we have a very stressful chat. We're always pretty chill, I think. But we're going to start off with a happy birthday to our girl, Lisa. And then, of course, I'll pull some cards for the week. But I was thinking, if you guys wanted to, like with a maybe the super chats and the super stickers, we could pull some cards for your 2024 message. So, we are getting close to the new year. In fact, a week from today is New Year's Eve, according to the Gregorian calendar. So the new year is coming up quickly. Sorry, my lips are frozen. But yeah, so I thought maybe we could do that. We could pull some cards on a 2024 message for each of you guys, if you would like to do a little super chat, super stickers. And also, I would like to do maybe a little channeling for you guys, just a quick channeling. Just, I don't know who would come through, just any message that anybody would like to give before the end of the year. Of course, I'd want to be tapping into something of a more positive polarity, more high vibe message. So my intention is not to like talk to a gray and, please, Gray, tell me about the end of the year. I'm pretty sure he or she would have, or I guess they're genderless, they would have nothing nice to say. So we're going to go with some high vibe messages instead. All right, I have my tea here, you guys. And I think from now on, I think I just want to do my live chats from here. Like I'm in a little grove of pine trees and juniper trees, and of course our Yule tree. But even when it's not Yule or Christmas or any of that anymore, I think just here is a really nice spot. I mean, the birdies come here. So, yeah. Okay, let's start off with a little happy birthday song. Are we ready? Hold on. Get some more tea on my little vocal cords. Okay. All right. A one, a two. Feel free to sing along. A one, two, three. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to our sister Lisa. Happy birthday to you. Do boop boop be doo. Mwah! Happy birthday, girl. I'm so excited for this next 365 days for you. So I hope it's a beautiful year and a beautiful 2024. So wishing you all the best. Do consider you a sis and love you, gal. Let's see. Let's go back here. Susie said, happy birthday, beautiful Lisa. I'm blessed to have you in my life as one of my best friends ever. And Karen wishing Lisa a happy birthday. Patrick says, maybe channel a mantis. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Would a mantis have some high vibe messages for us for the end of the year? Susie says that Yule tree may be one of the most lovely I have ever seen. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know what? I'm glad that it picked itself to be our tree this year. And Lisa said, bless up, Tara. That's wonderful, babe. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. So, are you guys drinking any sort of hot beverage at this time? It could be a hot tea, maybe just a hot water and lemon. Maybe you guys are having some hot mulled wine. I don't know. Everybody's in different time zones, you know. Maybe you guys are having your cafe, your coffee, or in some cultures it would be called chai or chai, depending on the culture. But yeah, let me know. What are you guys imbibing? I'm just having some Himalayan green tea today, just to warm up a tad. But in the sun, oh my gosh, it is so warm. In the sun, it's just like my butt is cold, but the top half of me is like hot. So I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. People got some coffee. Karen says, I don't know if you saw, but my dog is better. That's amazing. I'm so happy. So, those of you that don't know, last week we heard from Karen that her doggy was not doing so well. So, we did a huge healing session at the end of our chat. And it looks like some of that good juju got to, let me remember the name, Ladybug. So I'm so happy to hear that Ladybug is doing so much better. Karen, thank you all for your thoughts. Okay, yeah, Ladybug was the name. Ladybug last week. Patrick said 3 and something else. Oh, the end, something else. Okay, all right. So let's first pull some cards for this week, because like I said, there are some people that are celebrating Christmas, which is tomorrow. Some people are doing some more of the pagan traditions, kind of still going off of the solstice that we had. There are other traditions going on. I know that I think Hanukkah has already ended, I believe. And then on the 26th, we have Kwanzaa. And then there are some other traditions going on around the world. So yeah, let's see what we got cooked up, just before New Year's Eve. Can you believe that? 2024. If I were still writing checks, which I still have a checkbook, I just haven't written a check in a very long time. I think the last, anytime I have to write the date, sometimes I'm writing like 2006, and then I'm like, oh, it's not 2006, it's 2013. I mean, not 2013, it's 2000, what year is it? I'm like 2020, 2020, 23, 2023. Sometimes it's like too many years dates have passed for me to have to remember what year we're in. Okay. Let's see. What could we pull that would be fun skis? You know what? I think we'll pull these two. They are pretty high vibe, as well as one of these cards. Okay, I have 3 oracle decks here with me. If you guys want to grab your tarot cards, oracle cards, runes, pendulums, good old-fashioned just channeling, that those downloads that you guys get, then we could do that too. And the purpose of our live chats for people who are watching the replay is not only so that I could chat with you guys, but so that you guys could read the chat itself. There's a lot of good information going on in there, a lot of people sharing their wisdom, a lot of people just opening their hearts and sharing their hearts. And that's kind of what I'm all about. I'm all about people, opening, releasing, opening our hearts, opening that throat chakra, speaking your truth, and just putting it out there, which is also really good for solar plexus energy, having confidence in what you say and the messages that you share, and people tapping into their own beautiful intuition, as I believe everybody on this planet has intuition. They just may not be aware that they have it, or maybe some people don't trust it, but everybody does indeed have it, and it's just a skill to be honed, just like muscles. Okay, so the deck that I have for this week, for our messages this week, is Love Your Inner Goddess, and this is by Alana Fairchild. And I just find I only bust that deck out when I'm really needing some like deep high vibe messages, and I usually use it for personal use, but I want to use it with you guys here today. And this is my other like personal deck, but I'll use it with you guys here today, and that's the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. So these two paired together, if I'm ever really stuck, like let's say I have too much ego in the way and I can't really access my intuition, these decks just really help me, especially if there's something that I'm stressed out about or worried about. I think that they just kind of help ground me and help me open up my intuition again. The third deck I want to use with you guys is the Connected and Free Oracle, and that's let's see, who creates this one? Inner Hue, and it's also known as the Alchemist Oracle, right there on the back. And the Wild Kuan Yin, that's also by Alana Fairchild. Okay, let's see, let's go back here. Susie says, I'm so happy about going into 2024. John, he says, we're ancient. It's all a blur. I'm saying, yes. Susie wishing John a happy holidays. Susie has the Crow Tarot. Lisa and I had a synchronicity today. Nice. Lisa and I drew for Lisa, I drew for you your birthday card, Queen of Cups. She is beautiful crow with a crescent moon. Very nice. Karen said, how many tarot decks does everyone have? I don't know anymore, because I gave away a lot when I moved up here. I put a few to the side for Desert Cauldron for us to like sell as like a used deck. I don't know. All I know is it's like 2 little shelves. I have 2 little shelves of decks in the cabin. Maybe one day I'll count them. Oh, Susie says, and wait for it, there is a crab too. Ah. Okay. So let's look at those messages. So, all right, maybe I'll take my other little glovey off. Gotta stop being such a wuss and just man it to the ice here. Okay. Let's see, what do we have cooked up for this week? What do we need to know for this week? Of course, like I said, we'll do a channeling after this. And then we'll do some super chats and super stickers for anybody who would like a card for a message for 2024 for them personally. Okay. Okay, what do we need to know? Looks like we have our card here. Excellent. come on. The deck got frozen. The deck is frozen. Interesting. All right. It's a little weird when there's like ice on your cards. Okay. Needless to say, it's a little cold in the cabin. Whoa, shoot. Oh no, too many cards. Must be an energetic week. Sorry if I'm rubbing up on the microphone. My apologies. Oh, that was another block of ice falling off the chair. So yesterday, while I'm pulling the cards, yesterday we had about 15 minutes of snow. It was like a flurry of snow, but the ground was too warm, so the ground just kind of soaked it all up, and then it just rained for the rest of the day. So it wasn't really cold enough to like snow and have no snowmen for us. But we got 15 minutes of it. That was cool. Took some pictures. Um, James posted a couple of them on his Instagram page. And then, it was just rain. And so, since it was kind of a cold night, all that rain turned to ice. Okay. All right, we have our card. Okay, so I have our 3 cards here. We'll take a look at them in just a moment. Let me see what you guys have. Susie says, I have about 30 and I'm good with that. Someday I may grow my collection. Karen said, wow, I thought just one deck was the norm. Silly me. You know what? I mean, technically, we don't need our decks because the decks, what they are, just helps us to access our intuition. It's like a permission slip to access our intuition. And so technically all you need to rely on is your intuition. But some people they have one deck they like to use. Some people have like 300 decks they like to use. For me, I'm kind of a magpie, so I'm a sucker for like art and color. And so when I see like beautiful art, I just I just like to have it. um Let's see, John says, I pulled before and it was King of Cups, Ace of Cups, and bottom of the deck was Hanged Man. Love all the cups today. That's beautiful. Susie said, one deck is enough. All you need. Not silly at all. Karen said, ooh, channel the ice. That would be cool. That's a good idea. I like that. Susie's like, magpie. I love that. Yep, that's me. I mean, hence the tree. I'm just a little magpie. I like that. Channel the ice. Let's do it. Let's do it. Since it's been trying to catch our attention by falling in big blocks on the ground. What the heck, man? If I still had my toys, like if I was still little Tara, and I used to have all these little figurines like the California raisins, strawberry shortcakes. I had the munchkin or the monchichis. I don't know if you guys know what monchichis are, but like uh, in a lot of Hispanic families, we have monchichis. They're like these little monkey people, but they're like really cute and they get into these adventures. I had like shirt tails. And anyway, there's so much ice on this table. I would have them ice skating right now. I would be just freaking in kid heaven right now. Even James was mentioning that. He's like, ooh, we could go ice skating on this. I was like, yeah, if we had some toys, we'd be like, um, yeah, that is a great idea. Okay, so let's take a look at our first card. And we have White Sage. Okay, and then our second card is, White Mantra Mother Protects. So that's interesting. White Mantra Mother, and then you have White Sage. And white, to me, at this time, represents snow, ice, but also purity, purification. Um, to me, the color white also represents like legacy, the elders, things like that. So, we'll tap into this. And then our third card is fear. You see the shadow in the puddle of water, yet there's nobody standing in those shoes. Interesting. So let's put these cards all together to see. can I stick this? Oh, maybe like that. There we go. We have our fear card, white sage, and white mantra, mother protects. So let's go into this. Okay. Okay. Um, so as we get closer towards the end of the year, of course, like I said, there are many people from all over the world that have their various celebrations, holiday celebrations, celebrating either something having to do with the return of the sun, the longer days. Sometimes there's a religious aspect to it. There are people that are gearing up and getting ready for a brand new year according to the Gregorian calendar. And as we know, there are people that also celebrate the lunar calendar, but that won't be until February, March for like the Mayan calendar and other lunar calendars to come around. And usually, this time of year is depicted, at least in movies and things like that, as a wonderful time of year where everybody should be, you know, just relaxed, happy, having fun with friends and family, their soul family, friends they've collected along the way that have become family to us. Getting excited and ready for something brand new, a brand new year, brand spanking new. It's like being able to take off a pair of pants that you've worn all year, and you're just I've worn the knees out, they got grease stains all over them, and I'm ready for a brand new pair of pants, finally. But oftentimes, with all of this and with the societal push sometimes for things to actually look like the movies, to look picture perfect, that everybody needs to have these huge family gatherings, where in reality, not everybody has a huge biological family. Some people are the only child in their family. Not every family celebrates in the tradition of that culture. Let's say an American tradition, there might be a ham and turkey. Some people are vegetarian, and it might not be celebrated like that. Or some people, let's say during Yule or Christmas, have been worried about finances and wanting to find a way to show their appreciation and their love for others, but finding that perhaps maybe the only way they know how to do that is through something that is store bought, and so causing them distress when they should be feeling happy and joyful as they create gifts for their friends and family. And some people reflect on the year, and it could be more of a downer rather than an upper, thinking about the things that they didn't accomplish, and maybe being rather hard on themselves, saying, oh, I should have done this. I had 365 days to do this and I didn't do it. Where in reality, again, we're human beings. We're not a computer. We're not a robot where you download a program and the download will be done in, a couple of days. Life happens. That's why we have these lives. So we have these twists and turns. We have these adventures. We go on adventures that we didn't even foresee. And we learn so many wonderful things. And so this week, if you find yourself in a fret, perhaps worrying about things you didn't accomplish this year, or like myself, I was worrying that certain gifts wouldn't arrive on time to the people that I love. And perhaps maybe sometimes we allow that worry, those fears, to get in the way of the expression of our heart, to get in the way of us enjoying the present moment. And instead, we focus on the presents, the gifts that we want to give people, which is fine and wonderful as long as we are in the present when we do it. So if you are feeling worried, anxious, stressed, take that as your body telling you to hold up, pause, stop what you're doing right now, and sit down. And first, try to pinpoint, where is this anxiety coming from? Where is this fear coming from? Let's say, and we'll do an example from me, I was worried that certain gifts wouldn't get to my friends in time. And if I were to try to pinpoint that worry, at first I might say, well, because I want my friends to know that I'm thinking about them and that I love them. And if I really think about it with my heart instead of my ego, do I really feel that my friends only know that I love them if I'm sending them a gift? Of course not, because I tell them all the time. When we talk, I try to tell them all the time. Energetically in meditation, I think about them. I'm always sending them good energy. And so now I know that that is a thought that was just meant to get me off balance. And then I go a little bit deeper beyond the me being worried that maybe my friends don't think that I'm thinking about them. Let's go a little bit deeper. And I might find that maybe it's a programming from childhood, something that maybe my parents instilled in me. Perhaps they instilled in me that if I'm not physically making something or doing something for someone, then I'm useless. And perhaps my parents didn't have any, maliciousness surrounding that. It was just something that was taught to them from their parents, and they're just passing it down. That the feeling that the only thing that makes me worthy are the things that I can buy people or the things that I can make people, that's where my worth lies, instead of my worth being the fact that I'm here, that I'm already worthy. I don't need to prove it to anyone. And so, I'll say, okay, maybe I have time to work on that shadow right now. Maybe I don't. But at least I know that shadow's there. And next time I go into my shadow work or into meditation, now I have something to work on. And that's one less anxiety and one less fear I have before I end the year. So the white sage, white mantra, mother protects, and the fear card, yeah, it's just us taking time to pause and really find out where our anxieties are truly coming from. First, we'll see the surface stuff. We'll see the 3D stuff first, and then we'll go a little bit deeper. And maybe it's something that goes from years back, or maybe it stems from something that's past lives. As John said earlier, we're ancient beings. We've been been around the block of this universe quite a few times, and so it's just all about just pausing, going back, because the sometimes negative emotions that we feel, they're not bad emotions. They're just telling us that there's something that needs healing and something to be looked at. And so we should be grateful that those negative emotions exist, because they're in charge of helping us with our healing. So I never look at any emotions as bad, as, anger to me is not bad. That's coming from something. Fear, frustration, anxiety, those aren't bad emotions to me. They're all just telling me where I need to heal. And of course, joy, elation, feeling happy, all of this, these are emotions telling me that I should be doing more of this. Or maybe, why am I getting so much joy out of this? I can look into that, So just a wonderful week of reflection. I know that you guys are busy. I know that you have a lot to do, some of you guys. So and maybe you don't have a time for full-on meditation, but hopefully you just remember this message and just take time to pause, at least for 5 minutes, because you owe it to yourself. You're just as important as the people that you care and you've been caring about, that are all around you, your friends, your family, your fur babies, so on and so forth. So, all right. Love it. I love it. Okay. Let me go back and look at some of your comments here. Do, do, do. Susie said, Silver Star Priestess for later. Love you and blessed Yule. Yay! Also, Michelle M for later. Much love. Happy holidays. That's right. Our friend Michelle Montemayor. Peg, happy holidays to all you lovely souls. Mwah! Happy holidays to you. Susie wishing all of the KWT tribe a blessed Yule. Kayla and Angela for later. Much love. Susie sending happy holidays to our friend Peg. Susie said, this message resonates so much. Karen said, I just told my friend this morning that I'm not attached to social convention. Synchronicity. I love it. I love it. Susie sending out the loves and the blessed Yules for our friend Dana as well, and Aurora Starcy. John says the illusion that we have any control outside of ourselves. Exactly. Kayla, she's Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. Same to you. Susie also sending for Kelly for later, a blessed Yule. Uh, Susie said, Kayla, Merry Christmas. I was thinking of you and Eco earlier. And our friend Caitlin, she says, I'm here. Sorry, I overslept. Hey, no worries. John says, what's the saying? You should meditate at least 10 minutes a day. If you don't have time for that, you should meditate for at least an hour. I love that. I love that. Lisa saying, bless up peeps. Caitlin, Mary meet Lisa. Sorry, everyone. Hey, no worries. No need to apologize. You come at the time that you need to come. No worries. Okay. I'll just have a little bit of tea and let's do that channeling. Karen suggested that we channel the ice if something else comes through. Our friend Patrick was mentioning the mantis. Maybe they might have something, but we'll start with the ice, and we'll go from there. After that, we'll do some super chats and some super stickers. If anybody would like a card pulled for their personal message as we enter 2024. Wow, sounds like the freaking future. Can you imagine going back to 1989 when I was like 8 years old and imagining I'd be in 2024? I would have been like, whoa, put me in the DeLorean and let's go. Okay, alrighty. Susie said, no worries, Caitlin. I thought you were moving maybe. She says, I'm a moderator. Mod should be on time. I wouldn't have said it if I was. Hey, no worries, no worries. Susie said 89 was a good year. Yep. Caitlin says, super chats already, short live. Well, I don't want to keep everybody today. I know everybody's got some stuff that they're doing, whether prepping for the end of the year or doing Christmas Eve or Holly Eve, getting ready for Christmas. My plans actually after this live chat, well, first and foremost, I'm going to take me a nice hot shower. I like it when it's cold outside. You can take a nice hot shower. I'm going to do that. And then afterwards, I was thinking on starting on some of the things that I'm baking for tomorrow. We're going to have a little bit of a Mediterranean feast for tomorrow. We've been going very non-traditional. I mean, we had calzones, for Thanksgiving, and then I'm gonna make a spanakopita and baklava for Christmas tomorrow. So tonight, I mean, the baklava takes actually the longest to do, and I haven't made it in like 7 years or something. I haven't made it in a long time, but I just remember like each little piece of phyllo dough, just butter. It's like 14 layers later, and then you get to put some stuff. It's a very meditative process. So I'm probably going to be doing some form of like a meditation while I'm making my baklava. And then while that's cooking in the oven or baking in the oven, I want to prep the spanakopita, which is like my favorite thing in the whole world and has been my favorite thing since I was a little kid. But I bought some fresh spinach and everything. And basically, if you don't know what that is, it's like a spinach pie. It's like well, I hate to say Greek spinach pie because there's other cultures around there that like to eat spanakopita. My students that I used to teach back in the day, my friends, students that were from Afghanistan and Iraq and all of that, they also would eat spanakopita and baklava. So I'm gonna prep that. I'll put my spanakopita in the freezer so that way I could just pop it in the oven tomorrow and it doesn't take very long to bake. But the prep takes a little bit of time, so I'm gonna do that today. And then tomorrow, with those things, we're gonna have a little bit of salad. And what else is it we were gonna have? Um, I know that I was gonna make like Mediterranean rice, like saffron rice. So I got some pine nuts because I would have gotten pine nuts from the forest, but the deer ate them all, which is fine. That's for the animals. So I got some pine nuts. I have some leftover saffron threads, and yeah, I'll have some yellow rice, and I think that's it. Ooh, I'm gonna try my hand at mulled wine. We'll see how that goes. So I'm making my own mulled wine. I'm going to use my slow cooker for it just to kind of warm it up. Um, normally James and I aren't drinking any alcohol because our bodies haven't really liked alcohol too much. They just decided at like the same time for both of us, like, no more alcohol for you guys. We're like, okay. So we'll just have a little bit of mulled wine. We'll see how it goes. I know that sometimes the alcohol burns off just a little bit, especially if it gets to too high a temp. So we'll see. I don't know. So that's our plans for tomorrow. Um, we'll do a channeling, I think, later today. We're going to put some of the gifts underneath the tree here. The gifts that our families have sent us, the gifts that we made for each other. Yeah, and then we'll just open our gifts tomorrow. So, all righty. Let's see. Let's go back here. Uh, Karen says 1989. I had the largest flammable hair imaginable. Dude, Aquanet. My mom was like aquanetting my hair like crazy. She would feather it, as she would say, because I had such short hair as a kid. I had my parents would give me a Dorothy Hamill haircut, so um, I always had very short hair. Caitlin's wondering if Andrew is here. John's like, I'll be right over. Hey, you guys want to find me in the mountains? You want to come like eat with us? Psh, I'm down. uh, Caitlin says, I'm against alcohol anyway. Yeah. Oh, a card for Liesel. Heck yeah, let's do that. All right, let's pull a card for Liesel for 2024. You know what, Liesel? Okay, I have a deck for us. How about the Fairy Forest? And this one is by Lucy Cavendish. Yeah, let's do it, eh? Okay. All right, our friend Liesel, 2024. You got the birds singing for you. Mm. All right, Lisa, we have the golden unicorn, protector, guardian, champion. So let's go into your 2024 message. Okay. All right. All right, Lisa, your higher self was wanting you to know that it's time to really start seeing the higher self as you, because that's who you are, truly, really. And it has less to do with who people have thought you to be or the person that even you see in the mirror. The person that, was brought up by your mom and dad, that's not who you are truly. Yes, in earthly form, that's who we're programmed to be. Like this is who I am based on, the points of views of all the people around me, my upbringing, where I live, all of these things. And your higher self is saying that is a story, one of many stories that you hold. You have stories out in Andromeda, in the Andromedan galaxy. You have stories that are in the seventh dimension. You have stories that come from the fifth dimension. And this is merely one lifetime in a series of lifetimes. And since things are nonlinear outside of this life, all of those lifetimes are happening right now, which means that you can access any of them at any time, all these different stories. And they all make up one book. And that one book is your higher self, filled with chapter and chapter and chapter after chapter of all these lives lived in all these various places. And so, if any time in this week or in the weeks to come, you find yourself struggling or getting upset that you feel like you failed somehow, or you shouldn't have done this, or maybe you should have done that, or feeling guilty about this, or just remember that that's part of the person named Liesel's story. And the true person, the higher self, which is you, can help that person with that story at any time, that you can hold that person with love because they are a character in the story and they could become whoever it is that they want to be. If you want to make a puppet a queen, you could because it's your story. And so also remembering that in any time where you feel alone, remember that if this is one chapter in a multitude of chapters that are happening simultaneously outside of this dimension, how could you ever be alone? You are literally surrounded with thousands of versions of you. And you can access them at any time for wisdom, for help. Say, hey, here, me in 2024, I'm struggling with this. Could the Andromedan version of me help me with that? Could the version of me that lives in the seventh dimension, the angelic realm, could you help me with this? Because remember that we're all one and that all of us are you. We're all just fragments of you. And that means that no matter how far we try to hide from the world, we can't. We're surrounded by ourselves each and every day, as well as the actual soul fragments that flutter about the universe. And so this is just a remembrance that you are the unicorn. And you have a power that could really help yourself, as we all can, because you have the power to access all of your lives, any one of them. Your higher self says, I wish you could look in the mirror and really see you, the real you. Because you are quite sparkly, by the way, as many Andromedans are, at least from part of their Andromedan galaxy. You have that sparkly diamond-looking exterior. It's really beautiful. And so this is just a remembrance of your true form, your true self. All right. All right. Thank you, Susie, for getting that for Liesel. Whew. All righty. Let's see. Let's go back here. Caitlin said, Lucy is one of my favorites. I don't have that deck yet. Oh, it's a fun deck. I've had this one for a while. Karen said, is buying tarot decks a little bit like buying lots of shoes? I think so. Some people got a shoe fetish. Some people got a deck fetish. Karen says, I understand. Thank you. Caitlin said, Taurus rising. I love pretty things. And Karen says, a card for Karen and sister Laura. Okay, all right, will do. And then people reminding everyone that it's Liesel's birthday. And Caitlin said, oh, have a blessed day, Liesel. Didn't know you're at Christmas Eve, baby. John says, I went too hard on getting decks at first. Slowing down has helped me connect more with my decks. Yeah, that was me at first. I was like, ooh, I have to get this one and this one, not knowing that there was like literally thousands of decks out there. I was like, oh, I guess that's not going to happen. Susie says, John, that makes sense to me too. Karen says, I don't know how to put a message within the sticker. Hey, no worries. Okay, so we'll pull a card for you and your sister, Laura. Yeah, so Karen and Laura. Okay, will do. Let's see. Caitlin says, to any trolls lurking today, we don't need your toxic energy. Please leave. Susie said, like diamonds. Thank you. Karen's like, oh, wait, I am Karen. No worries. Peg says, show the love with the thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. John also wishing Liesel a happy birthday. All right. So let's pull a card for Karen and Laura. Sister. Yeah, let's do a little tapping. Okay, Karen, I don't know why that popped into my brain, but the movie Fried Green Tomatoes popped in. Dude, I haven't seen that movie in ages. But that was part of your message, I guess. But let's pull a card for you guys. Fried Green Tomatoes. Isn't that the one with is it Gina Davis? Okay. Karen and Laura, her sister Laura. Okay, put that there. Just a little bit of tea. My hand's a little cold, so let me put at least one glove on, aka like Michael Jackson. Okay, so Karen, we have Awen, gift, divine inspiration, awakening. Um, okay, so Karen said Sally Fields. Oh, okay, okay. All right, so let's look at your message first, then we'll look at your sister Laura's message. Interesting. Okay. Um, the message that was coming through says you have an opportunity in 2024. They're not really saying when because things are it's hard to put anything set in stone, especially when there's like an infinite number of timelines that we can jump on. But just know that there are several timelines that are kind of pointing towards this opportunity. And it's an opportunity kind of your own making, because of the way you've been shifting and changing as we all have, on this healing journey, but an opportunity to kind of shift what you do as a career. So I know that you already are in kind of a counselor like position where you help a lot of people. You help them, work through their issues and problems so that people feel the power to work on things themselves, kind of like what we do as tarot readers and things like that. We want to empower others to be able to continue their healing process on their own, kind of showing them where the healing is needed, giving them some of those tools, and then saying, okay, now you can do it. And I know that's very similar to some of the things that you do, but how you do it, and kind of what that looks like may change in 2024 if that's something that you want. Because again, it's your free will. You get to choose whatever you want. So if you like things the way they are, of course, they can stay the way they are. But if you want to change it just a little bit to have it more in alignment with your shifting and changing energy, because obviously the way that you help others may change because you're changing. And so maybe you might be able to help them in a different way or be able to offer something um, extra on top of the things that you've already been doing because it's in alignment with your own healing process and your own work. So I was just saying that there's a wonderful opportunity for that. And then it would also help to give even more joy than the joy that you already get with your current career. But it keeps saying that it's like an opportunity that you create. So it could be that maybe this is something that you start brainstorming and on your own you're like, okay, I want to add a little bit of this, I want to just tweak this a little bit, maybe I'll pull back on doing this with people, but I do want to add more of this. It's like a little they're showing me it's like baking bread. So 2024 in terms of your career is like baking bread. It's deciding, okay, the bread that I've been eating and been giving people is pretty good, but I could tweak it and make it a little bit more magical. And I think that it would be even more in alignment with where I am in my life right now. Like maybe before you weren't so keen on cinnamon, but this year's bread's going to have a lot of cinnamon in it, so to speak. All right. And this is, again, timelines shift, so nothing is ever really set in stone. But there are several timelines that kind of put that around mid 2024, like June, July. All right. Very cool. All right, so let's get to your sister Laura. And let me just go back here. Um, Susie said, "Oh, Fried Green Tomatoes, great movie. To Wanda Forever." um, and Susie Kathy Bates was also in it. Um, oh, Caitlin was wondering if we had that card last week. Probably did. Susie said, "I'm an older girls and I have better car insurance," when she rams their car in the parking lot. Um, Caitlin says also Soap Dish, great movie. Okay, so let's take a look at Laura's card. Ooh, we have atheling, nobility, grace, gratitude. Okay, so let's dive into Laura's card. Okay, it's showing me around Laura's energy grace and power within frailty. For instance, it's showing me a rose. And oftentimes people might think of a rose as delicate. You have to, you know, always be keeping on top of it. It's so prone to pests. It's so prone to, being burned by the sun. Sometimes if the sun's too intense, like you have to have just the right conditions to grow roses. And what Rose is saying, Rose being very much like your sister's energy, roses are not frail. Roses are not delicate. They may appear on the outside as such, but they actually have quite a resilience. Roses can grow tough in the wintertime, sometimes through the snow. Some roses can live in the most arid of desert conditions without the help of human interference. And it's humans that project the need to care for and stay on top of and coddle these beautiful flowers. Because as humans, we see their energy, we see their power, and we're afraid to have that lost. And so we fuss over these flowers because we say, well, um, this flower is so beautiful. I know the medicine that it holds, and I want to make sure that it thrives, that it lives. And so we preen and we prune, and we do this, and we put little, our DIY insecticides on it, and we put special netting over it, and we make sure that we prune them in the wintertime and things like that. But roses are saying we would have blossomed regardless because we are strong. And that's something that we want to teach human beings, is that we are resilient, that our outward appearance has nothing to do with the strength that we have inside. And right now, your sister Laura is very much like that rose, perhaps on the outside appearing delicate or even frail, where on the inside, she's rediscovering a power within herself that she wasn't aware of before. Perhaps she was aware of it as a child, but as we grow and become programmed and things like that, we forget our true power. And sometimes it's a coming back to that frailty where we actually do feel frail, that we rediscover our true power. And that might be the opposite of what we might think as a human being, that if I feel frail, I must be frail. When that's not the case, it's usually when our outward self has come to a point where it's not the vehicle anymore. It's not the strength, that we're taught that the body is everything, that you're strong because you have muscles, or you're strong, because you're tall and you're big boned, and that's what strength is. When strength is an energy, and it's just a rediscovering of it. And so if we take away all the muscle, we take away all of that external, all that we're left with is our energy. And it's a rediscovering of that. And that's what Laura is rediscovering right now, and that she will continue to rediscover in 2024 is real power. Power that extends beyond medicine, beyond, any sort of herbal help, beyond our physical 3D world. And her higher self is saying this is the best gift it could think to give her, was just a remembering of who she is, the power that she truly does wield. And all I can see is a big glowing gold light. All right. Whew. All right. Thank you for letting me tap into both of your energies. Um, oh, Caitlin says that she thinks YouTube deleted one of her comments. That's interesting. Susie was saying that because she over emojied one time, like YouTube put her in timeout, like crazy. Says Caitlin, they did, I bet. You know how I was putting 24-hour timeout for the emojis. Um, she says YouTube is big brother lately. Oh, it always is. Um, she says, I'm sure they banned certain words. Caitlin says, I've been dealing with a copycat stalker lately. Oh no. Well, I guess it's the highest form of flattery. Susie said, Karen, sending you and Laura the brightest blessings and healing in 2024 and now. Caitlin says, I know who it is, but I can't do anything. Sigh, whatever. It's their issue, not mine. Exactly. Karen says, this is so spot on with recent conversations. Amazing the stress and pressure and fights. She is doing it. Thank you. And I agree with you all. Thank you for keeping her in your hearts. All right. So glad it resonated. So yeah, definitely, at the end of our chat today, when we do our meditation, again, we'll put out that healing energy for all of our friends and family that need a little bit of extra juju, mostly to remind everybody of the healing power that we innately have inside of each and every one of us. But it doesn't hurt to have all of your friends kind of pushing you along and showing you that that light is there. So, all right. So let's have a little bit more tea. And we were going to channel the ice, so let's do it. And then yeah, afterwards, if anybody wants to do any more super chats or super stickers, we could do that too. Okay, I'm gonna put my other glovey on because my hands are cold, man. Oh no, they're trying to put the chemtrails down again. Dude, they were chemtrailing like crazy, which brought that weird 2-day storm that we had. And their goal, which it was like to bring us snow. They wanted us like to have lots and lots of snow for like around this time. But Gaia wasn't having it because she wants to be hot. So I guess they're trying again or whatever to make it cold tonight. But poo poo, like Gaia ain't having it no more, homies. So Caitlin says, Tara, it's amazing how pretty people can be trying to bait others using their guilt against them. But like I said, their issue. Exactly. When people try to pull us into conflicts and things like that, bait, as you said, it's because somebody is wanting to work out an issue but not understanding that it's an issue that's inside of them that they need to work out for themselves. So sometimes we externalize things. We decide, I target that person, and I'm gonna take out all of my energy on this person, instead of understanding that I could use all of that energy towards my own healing, instead of externalizing, their own pain or their own issue. But we've all kind of, I guess, done that from time to time, gotten in fights with our brothers and sisters, or got angry at somebody who cut us off in traffic, when really it's something that we got going on inside ourselves. But that's why all these messages are like, just stay present. And like the messages that we had for the week is just to be cognizant of why we're feeling, certain emotions and certain things, where are they actually stemming from. Maybe it's not actually that person outside of ourselves, but it's something a little bit deeper. Okay. Susie says, yes, they've been doing it here too. And you're right, Mama Gaia brought us the sun. Heck yeah. Caitlin says, they're jealous, is what it is. They're jealous of a certain friendship I used to have, which probably goes a lot deeper than that too. Probably something from childhood, maybe. Susie said, I just drew strength for you, Tara, your birthday card. Oh, well, thank you. My happy half birthday. Thank you, thank you. And you know what? The strength card was my stalker card for so many years. Card number 8. I love it. Love it. Lisa said, same here in the UK, Susie. Yeah. Gaia will prevail. Gaia will prevail. Gaia will prevail. Screw your lines. Gaia will prevail. Because we will prevail and we are Gaia. So that's that. Okay, let's get into a little meditative state here. Again, I'm going to be channeling the ice for messages for this coming of the end of the year, coming into 2024. See what the ice has for us, reminding me of the rune Isa, meaning stillness, frozen. And if any of you would like to tap in with your own intuition, either pulling cards, or maybe you want to channel right along with me, but let's focus on ice and ice's message. Again, just a form of water, as water can come in many forms. We got to see that yesterday. It came in the form of snow, hail, rain, puddles, now icicles. The breath coming out of our mouth. Okay. Humanity has been taught for far too long to discount the power of the elements. When we say that you are made up of all of the world's elements, it is true. So to look down on any externalized element, as in it is just water, it is just fire, it is just earth, it is just air, you are discounting one of your own precious powers. You are also fire, earth, air, and water. But of course, these thoughts didn't arise from nothingness. Those were put there as elements were seen as something to conquer. If one did not like the wind, they built a brick home. If one wanted fire, they encased one in a fireplace, and they could put it out at will. If one wants water, all you need do is turn on the tap. If it's earth you want, then perhaps we'll take a drive across our concrete jungle to a park, perfectly manicured, the way we ought to see Mama Gaia, they might say. But the elements are not neat and tidy, as experienced in the explosions of volcanoes, fires that might tear through a forest, hard to control, hurricanes, and sometimes the rumblings of Earth itself, the quakes that you cannot control. And in these extreme instances, you are taught to be afraid. Fear the water, fear the fire, fear the wind, feel the dirt beneath your toes. They might say, the world is trying to harm you. It's quite the opposite. We are trying to help remind you of who you are. You are all of these things and more. You have a spirit, just as Gaia has a spirit. But yes, in earthly form, you do contain the wind. You do contain the fire, the earth, the water. Look on any one of your news broadcasts, the tone of their voice, the images they show you, the sadness, how scary the fire is, how scary water is. That the best thing we can do is learn how to control it, to tame it, to make it fit in the concrete world. Fire is only allowed to burn if we create it. Water must run through pipes, be molded and formed. If you want ice, get it from your freezer. If you want earth, bring a potted plant into your home. There are many of you who have tried to reconnect to these elements. And this is something that much of humanity is doing at this time. And will continue to do so 2024, 2025, and on. A remembrance that life is not neat and tidy. You've been taught to fear things that don't fit in a box. But you do not fit in a box, just as the earth does not fit in a box. You could not hope to capture the force of a tidal wave any more than you could stomp out a forest fire. These are external representations of what you are. You are a force to be reckoned with. And sometimes we create devastation. Sometimes we bring new life. But it's all part of the living process, the lessons. Do you think that the water feels bad about itself when storms occur? Do you think the fire is ashamed that it is fire? Do you think it tries to keep itself small? Do you think the wind thinks twice before blowing through the canyons and valleys? Do you think Gaia wants to be a manicured lawn? They do not, and neither do you. Many are recognizing that perhaps much of human suffering is a denial of their true nature, a teaching to be fearful of your wildness, because wildness is bipolaric, both negative and positive. But these elements are highly aware of their negative and positive nature. and they understand that it is a form of balance. If the elements were to deny any aspect of their negative nature or were fearful of their darkness, the darkness would run rampant right under their nose. But it's an understanding their light and their dark that helps them to be the force that they are. Recognize your light and your dark. Some of you fear your darkness just as much as some people fear their light. But if you can come to understand both, then you come to understand your wildness, your force of nature, because you are nature. You can remove yourself and put yourself into a concrete box, but you can never take the nature out of a human being. No matter how much you discipline them and shame them and try to control them, nature always prevails. It always has. Have you not seen weeds grow through the cracks of a sidewalk? Impossible, they might say. Have you not seen water leak from pipes that have been wrapped over and over and over with tape? You cannot stop water any more than you can stop fire or air. There will be more of a reckoning of sorts in 2024. More of a tower moment for some. But remember that nature often creates her own tower moments in order for there to be rebirth. Do not fear your tower moment. Look forward to it with joy rather than fear. And ask yourself, who would benefit from you looking at your tower with fear? And release them. Woo! Oh my goodness. Whoa, it is a drippy mess out here. Oh my goodness, everything's starting to melt in the sun. Oh my goodness. And here come the clouds. Alrighty, let's look back here. Just missed some of your comments. I'm going back a little bit further. Oh, Susie says, I drew the card for June 10th, but it made me remember she used to get that card a lot. Sure did. Karen says, is half birthdays truly a thing? Nah, I don't think so. It's just fun to say every once in a while. Susie says they should be. Caitlin says, no, not May. It must have started in April. Karen said, ice skating offers feeling of freedom. And Caitlin says, I think that's when I met my former friend, late March, early April. Interesting. And she just saw 11:11 on the clock. Woo woo. Lisa says, I'm getting a retaining of sacred knowledge as frozen water is in stasis. High vibe. And Susie drew the Queen of Pentacles for 2024 for me. Here's hoping. Lisa, 11:11. Susie said, Lisa, that reminds me of Legends of the Fall, the ice part. And she made a wish. Lisa too. She says, and then she drew the Magician. We have this humanity, Ace of Cups, bottom of the deck, like John. Caitlin said, sorry again that I overslept. My decks are already packed and I'm not getting any downloads. Hey, no worries. No need to fret. Just chill out with us. Karen says, wow, what a message. Suffering, denial, true nature, and denial of wilderness or wildness. Elements can teach us how to accept our light and dark. And Susie said 2 of cups for Karen. And Caitlin said the last thing I will say about the copycat, their move. Karen says, I don't know what that means. Sorry. Susie said, Caitlin sending you protection from your stalker. And she said, Karen, I think it means love is in them for you in 2024. Can be a spiritual love. And Caitlin said, thank you, Susie, and send that protection to their hostage as well. Karen said, thank you, Tara, for your channeling. I am in awe of what the ice had to say. Me too. I'm like, what messages could we get from ice? But ice went deep, man. Johnson's nice. I didn't see that. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay. So if there is anyone else that would like to do super chats and super stickers for a message for them in 2024, let me know. Otherwise, let's get to our meditation. Let's do that healing meditation. It's going to be not the final one of the year. We got one more live chat before 2024, and that's going to be on New Year's Eve. So it's next Sunday. That's a week from today. That's crazy. It's like already Holly Eve, and then it's going to be like New Year's Eve. Like, what the deuce? All right. Thank you, Karen, for the channeling suggestion. And I think, Patrick, maybe the mantis channeling could be like an actual channeling video that we do. I think that might be pretty rad. Oh, hey, take a look. Kayla has been a KWT member for 17 months. What the heck? We're going to have to pull a card for you, Kayla. So cool. John says, I'd like one. Karen says, I have to save my money for an appointment on Wednesday. Oh, no worries. Patrick says, thanks, loved it. Oh, we got one for our friend John as well. Okay, so Kayla, let's pull you a card, and then we'll pull a card for our friend John. All right. Let's go Kayla first. Her 2024 message, which, by the way, Kayla, thank you so much for grabbing a year ahead reading. Those are the readings that I only post towards the end of the year. So it's not a reading that you can get any other time of year. It's like my special little thing, you know? Okay, Kayla, let's see. Again, using the fairy forest here. That's right, son. You show these trails who's boss. Kayla. Whoa. I take it that's your card. It just went flying. Ooh, shapeshifter, transformation, primal wisdom, instinct. All right. And this actually, because I do remember your year ahead reading that I did for you, and that there was a message in there about going through kind of an ego death or a transformation of sorts, like really stepping into your higher self. And so I believe that this is kind of going off of that. Let's see. So your higher self says, of course, you always have free will. You always have, you always will. And your higher self's like making a little pun there. But anyway, you have kind of a jokester higher self, which is pretty cool. But who you allow yourself to transform into is always up to you. Again, it's when you feel ready, but feeling ready in terms of your heart. What does your heart say and not what your ego says? Because remember, the ego is going to want to keep you exactly the same, because the ego loves, the things that are not different. It doesn't have to guess, it doesn't have to, guess that you're going to make a different decision on things, or, this is the way you always react to things, and always reacting from the past, and, and always, guiding your life because of what has occurred before, previously in the past. And that's something that the ego enjoys, because it's I'm trying to think of the word it's trying to say, but it's like keeping yourself average. The ego likes average. There's no surprises. The ego doesn't like surprises. The higher self does, however, because the higher self knows that in a surprise, you learn something new about yourself. It's like getting a gift on your birthday or at Christmas time. You never know what's in the box. And that's kind of like what happens when we tap into our higher self. We never know what's in there. And when we find out, we're like, wow, that's amazing. That's cool. And it's saying for 2024, perhaps at first, when you really start branching out into these new parts that you are embracing of your higher self that are different, they may be a little scary at first because it's, a way of acting or being or responding to things that normally occur differently. It may feel like not like you. And it's true. It's not like the you that is the ego. It's definitely something different. And so it may feel awkward at first. It may feel like you're putting on the mask of someone else, like, oh, that's not me. But that would be the ego speaking, because the ego says, well, I always act a particular way. I'm confined in a little box. And we just talked about boxes and us being a force of nature, and you can't contain nature in a box. And so as you, again, your free will choice, continue to step into this higher self and try out these new, or rediscovering, we should say, aspects of yourself. Again, it may feel inauthentic at first. It may feel a little weird at first. And you may not know how to respond to people around you when they might say, Kayla, what are you doing? Or Kayla, that's not you. And again, remember, we talked about it. It's just because it's putting a spotlight on their own growth and perhaps their own fear or inability to want to expand into something different for themselves, perhaps embrace their own higher self. But eventually it becomes normal for you. Eventually it's evens out. It doesn't feel inauthentic anymore. It feels like you. It doesn't feel awkward anymore. It just feels like the everyday. And it doesn't take very long for that to happen. Just like we have an awkward teenage phase, we have an awkward spiritual growth phase. And you might be experiencing a little bit of that awkward spiritual growth phase, but know that it's just that. It's just a phase. And eventually you'll grow into your new set of shoes, your new skin, so to speak. And everything will be quote unquote normal once again. So, just like we got from our message from the ice, to not fear your tower moment. Again, who would benefit from you being scared of that? Probably everything around you that wants you to stay the same. So instead, look forward to it with joy, with the eyes of a child on Christmas Eve, looking at all those presents. Wonder what's in them. I wonder what I'm going to be able to play with. I wonder if there's a little cowgirl set in there for me and I get to pretend that I'm a cowgirl. You never know what's in there. And so wait for it with elation instead of trepidation. All right. All right, Kayla. Very cool. Okay. Let me look here. Doot, doot, doot. Miss some of your comments here. Lisa says, bless up, Kayla. John says, you can give mine to her. Oh, to who? Hold on. Give me just a second. Karen says, Caitlin, I don't know what is going on, but sending love and vibes, not quite as gifted as the others here. Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Susan says she'll pull one for you, John, too. John says, I feel like I want to connect deeper with myself right now. Okay. Okay. Kayla says, I highly recommend it. Caitlin says, Karen, my former friend's husband is stealing my ideas for his own in an attempt to guilt bait me into reacting. But I'm not falling for it. It's a long story. Susie says, Caitlin has shown such wisdom and grace with this person's constant attacks on her. Nice. Karen says, that's awful. Human behavior never ceases to amaze me. And she's thanking everybody for their well wishes. And then Susie said, Lisa, take a photo of the sun today, or is it too dark already? Then you can look at your solar return energy all year long. Kayla, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being an amazing light. Thank you so much. This is Kayla. I'm sending you the brightest blessings in 2024. She's saying Merry Christmas Eve to Lisa. All right, our friend John is next. And Karen says, your friend sounds in a loyalty conflict and opts not to see the picture as it is because he isn't ready. Resistance of change, but eventually discomfort pushes the change unless your friend is stagnant. And Kayla says, I recommend Tara's Year Ahead reading. If anyone has a chance to grab one, they are amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's get to our buddy John. Oh no, it's all this cloud cover. Psh. I hope the sun burns right through that stuff. It was a bright blue sky. All of a sudden, we are socked in full of clouds. Wonder how that happened. Okay, John, wanting to tap into a deeper level of yourself. Let's see that for 2024. Okay, so before I pull a card for you, I'm seeing frogs everywhere, like little ribbit frogs. Interesting. I know that in like animal medicine, for me, frogs is all about like fertility, like good luck, being able to take a leap of faith. So interesting. Okay, so now let's pull a card for you. Ooh, we have the Green Man Initiative, fertilization and action for our friend John. Okay, let's tap in. Okay, your higher self is saying for 2024 and now, today, even into the new year, because your higher self is like, all I really like to look at is the present. But of course, the present will take us on into the new year. That there will be a rediscovering of trust within yourself, to be able to trust wholeheartedly the messages that you receive, to be able to trust your own inner guidance system. And although you do to a point, sometimes the ego might muddy it just a little bit. It might say, well, in order for me to access this, perhaps I need to, let's say, for instance, take a course in something, and this person will teach me about myself. Or perhaps I need to get a book, a particular book, or a particular deck, or a particular thing outside of myself that helps me to reconnect to the self. And although your soul is saying those are wonderful permission slips, as many people do use them, many people will hear something in a course that they take, and it's that one word they needed that really activates the interaction. But the teacher themselves, whew, oh my goodness. All right. Okay, so yeah, the final message there was try to understand its language, and then you guys become the best of friends. I agree. It is very hard to trust the higher self and to get to that deeper level of understanding, that really, really connecting with the soul if you don't know how it speaks. So, yeah, I dig it, man. I love all of your messages. Thank you for everyone who allowed me to pull a card for you. Thank you, thank you. Let's go back here. Do do do. Oh no, it went buffering for a while. Oh no. Oh, we got tons of birds flying overhead. That's kind of cool. Karen said, cool card. John said, the green man has been a theme the past couple of years. Very cool. Oh no. Did you get the message, John? Wow. The connection just like went berserk. Wow. Everybody's saying hugs. Yep, I'm back. Yeah, so well, I mean, if John missed the message because of the buffering, it was just talking about that sometimes we have to give ourselves permission slips. Like, if we don't truly trust our inner guidance and who we are truly on the inside, we might seek that information through like a course or through reading a book or using a deck of cards. And the higher self was saying that that's not a bad thing. It's just understanding that those are permission slips and you're cognizant of it. You're understanding that I could access this information about myself at any time, you know, about my family's lineage. It's all energetic, you know, even if it's not written down, I could access anything, you know, anything about my soul, anything about this universe at any time. But I'm consciously choosing to access it through this person or through a deck of cards or through a book or through a course that I'm taking. And they said, and that's fine and dandy as long as that, you know, again, you realize it's a conscious decision. But really, what it is, the trust part comes from not understanding the language of one's soul, because everybody's soul speaks a little differently. So they said, it's about sometimes when you have a movie just kind of like pop up in your head and you don't know how it got there, or you hear like a song playing in your head and you don't know how it got there. Sometimes it's not random, it's your soul trying to figure out the best way to talk to you to capture your attention. So it's trying to try to speak to you through the things that you understand, like, you know, a thought pops in there, you know, things like that. And eventually, when you get good at understanding its language, then the trust comes from that. And so their example was like, if you had a friend or you met somebody and all they spoke was Swahili and I don't speak Swahili, how do I know that this person is leading me in the right direction? I don't even understand what they're saying. But if I understood and started to understand what Swahili is, then I understand exactly what they're saying. I have no problem following my friend wherever it is that they're going. So you're very welcome. Thank you for letting me tap into your energy and everybody who allowed me to pull a card today. Let's go ahead and get into our meditation then. We have some homies out there who are needing a little bit more healing energy. And like I said, I want you guys all to chip in as well. So, however it is that you push your energy out there, push that healing energy so that it might give everybody that we love, including ourselves, that little extra push to rediscover our own power. So, let this meditation be about rediscovering your inner lights, you know, as we did have the return of the sun. So let's do that. Okay, so let's have a little bit of tea. And let's see, where do I want to? I guess we could look at the tree once again for this meditation. I'll put my little glovey back on. All right. Move this out of the way. And, or, oh, I would point it towards the sun, but the sun has disappeared. So we're gonna look at the tree there. Okay. Or actually, you know what? It is pretty out there. Maybe I'll turn this camera around. Okay. So that's the view I have. Okay. All right, somewhere back there is the sun. All right, you guys, so please get into a comfortable space. You could be lying down, sitting down, you could be sitting outside, you could be laying in your bed. But make sure that you are in a place where you will be undisturbed for the next several minutes. All right, once you've found a nice comfortable position, go ahead and bring your awareness to your breath. And if you need to, you can place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And just feel the inhalation of air. Try to bring that air deep into your belly. Fill your belly with air. Let's do a 4 count. We're going to breathe in for 4, hold that air in for 4, release for 4, and then hold that exhaled air for 4 counts. All right, so let's go. And breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Continue breathing in this fashion. Again, trying to fill that belly with air. And as you exhale, feeling every ounce of air in your body, pushing it out. And as you breathe, feeling with every exhale, every bit of tension in the body, perhaps every ache and pain, or perhaps every worry and anxiety released in the breath. And we know that the breath is a powerful force to be reckoned with. The ability to aid you in release, but also the ability to fill you with life. A beautiful balance of polarity. Continue breathing. And now I want you to imagine the sun. The sun as you might see it on a clear day in the part of the world in which you live. Perhaps where you live, the sun feels intense on the brightest of days. Perhaps it's soothing. Perhaps you see it as a big, glowing white orb. Some might see it as golden. But I want you to imagine that sun on the clearest of days in the area that you live in as much detail as possible. I want you to actually feel it on your skin. Feel it warm you from the outside in. How does it make you feel? When you close your eyes and point your face towards the sun, how does it feel behind the eyelids? How does it feel on your face? When you take in a deep breath, how does it feel? And now I want you to take this image of the sun And I want you to place it right in your solar plexus. You can imagine it there, or if you want to reach out and pluck the sun from the sky and place it inside yourself, it is up to you. And now, with this beautiful orb inside of your body, how does it feel? The warmth from the inside out. What does this do for your confidence, your outlook on life? Do you feel powerful? What is being illuminated that was once in darkness? Allow this sun to illuminate the darkness. Because remember, if we know what lurks in the shadows of our negative polarity, then it can never pop up unannounced. We know its every move. We know its every trauma, every trigger. We know exactly how to help it heal. Because we do not fear it. We know it is just another part of ourself. Just as we do not fear our light. And so if there's something that you've been worried about or been scared about in taking the next step, I want you to put your hand on your solar plexus and remember that the same sun that you see burning in the sky, giving life to everything on the ground below it, giving life to the birds in the air, surrounding you with a feeling of warmth, that same sun is within you. And just as this sun could never be destroyed unless it wished it to be, neither could your light. Your light cannot be destroyed. Perhaps it hides behind clouds of confusion at times, but eventually those rays will burn through. The truth will be seen. Those shadows will be uncovered. And you are a walking remembrance that we have the ability to heal ourselves. We have the ability to shine our light. We have the ability to offer something in this world that nobody else can. There are 9 billion unique lights on this planet, not counting Gaia's trees and animals and the fishes in the sea. So come back to your light whenever you feel surrounded by darkness. You are the sun. You are light. When you're ready, you can come back into your body with some deep breaths. You may want to wiggle your fingers and toes. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hey, look, the sun's trying to come through. Heck yeah. I can dig that. Let's see. Missed some of your comments here. Karen said, OMG, this meditation is amazing. The orb from within, it feels like the ability to ascend without dealing with worldly things holding you back. Caitlin said 2024 is the Phoenix Reborn. Yes. Karen said, each of you are so special. Thank you for being you and doing the true light work. Susan said, likewise, Karen. Thank you, KWT rocks, and you are a part of it. Kayla said, what a peaceful meditation. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Love you all. Turn a little whoop. Here we are. All right, you guys. I hope for those of you that are celebrating, I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas Eve and Christmas. If you're celebrating Kwanzaa or the end of Hanukkah or whatever it may be, whatever holiday it may be, I hope that you have a wonderful one. And I'll see you guys on New Year's Eve next Sunday. Oh, hey, the sun's coming back. I'll see you guys then. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Have a wonderful week. I'm going to go take a nice hot shower. Talk to you later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Mwah! Peace out. Bye, guys.